Cresselia has a little bit of options, has that Moonblast available, but it has to avoid the Wall Rain and the Registeel. And here we go. We see the Sableye into the Medicham. This is not a great matchup for Captain, but Captain's staying in.
Now, you might be puzzled as to why this Medicham is still in the matchup because it is a very unfavorable pairing. But if you recognize there's a Cresselia in the back for Captain, so if he switches, loses his only chance to shut down the Sableye.
Yeah, and yeah, the Cresselia does not have a lot of targets in the back either, so the Sableye is just going to be throwing the foul play here and just going to try to shore up this lead matchup.
Absolutely, Sableye continuing to apply so much pressure with the Shadow Claws, but Medicham trying to get at least a Protect Shield out of a very negative matchup.
Yeah, and the Ice Punch is going to go through. The Sableye can take it, and look at that. That ended up being really close. The Sableye does have some energy, a little bit of delay here. The Sableye is just waiting once again, and here comes now the Cresselia. But look at this. The Sableye is nearly at 2 foul plays. You don't want to take those on Cresselia.
METABOU demonstrating her control, her mastery, and her trust in her Pokemon, knowing it can survive the Ice Punch from the Medicham. And look at this, getting to 2 foul plays against the Psychic-type Cresselia.
Yeah, this foul play is going to be super effective. You see the no shield here. It's going to try to go for a Psycho Cut down or a Lock On down for Captain.
Now we do see Cresselia finally getting the better of the Sableye, but look at the price it paid in terms of HP.
Yes, and its energy can go somewhere, though. The Moonblast can do a good amount of damage, but these Grass Knots are neutral. They do not do a ton versus the Galarian Stunfisk.
We do see the first Grass Knot get deployed here by the Psychic-type Cresselia. Again, like you mentioned, Butters, not a whole lot of damage, but it is the most efficient attack to throw at this juncture.
Yeah, high stat product Pokemon going at it. A little bit of a little bit delayed here. I think what might have happened with the Cresselia coming in, and there might be a rematch.
Oh my goodness! No, right in the moment we have a Rock Slide getting fired off by the Galarian Stunfisk into the Registeel. This is a resisted charge attack, but to your point, Butters, maybe not the Pokemon that should have been here in this position.
Yes, I think maybe Cresselia was forced out there. That's why you see Captain kind of shaking his head a little bit. And now the Earthquake is going to be coming here. This is in range of the Registeel. The Registeel does have to Protect Shield if it wants to survive.
Captain calls the Earthquake. Registeel does not need to worry because the Protect Shield was deployed, and we're going to see a Focus Blast returning fire here and a Protect Shield from METABOU as well.
Yeah, the first Protect Shield from METABOU needs to farm up a little more energy. The Galarian Stunfisk does outpace the Registeel. There is no switch available for Captain, so this Registeel is going to have to sit there and take it.
Registeel trapped, cornered, and now cratered by the Ground-type Earthquake. My goodness, super effective damage. In comes the Mandibuzz, and here's Cresselia.
Yeah, and Cresselia, last-ditch effort is going to go for the bait with the Grass Knot. Maybe just picking up a shielded. It actually gets no shielded, she calls it, and it's not very effective.
This is also with a Game 2 and potential Game 3 in mind, as Captain does not want to reveal his entire moveset. Now, this is interesting because we did see both trainers maybe a little bit exasperated, not really certain about that switch in. We're going to have a word with the judges as the trainers work things through. But let me ask you this, Tua Butters. If the situation was different, if the Registeel came in to face off against Sableye, does that change the DNA of this match?
You know, it might not, just because that Cresselia had nowhere to go. It had the Galarian Stunfisk and Mandibuzz staring at it. So it did not really have good matchups. Also, the lead matchup was kind of tough as well, right? It was the Medicham into the Sableye. So it could be a situation where there were not a lot of win conditions. We'll see what will come of it. But yeah, it was a tough scenario. And one thing, you get a little knowledge. You do find out that the Mandibuzz is Air Slash.
Ooh, Air Slash Mandibuzz, that is so critical here. And we talked about trying to address the double counter users and that Sableye. 3 Pokemon that have been very prevalent here in Indianapolis. And I think Mandibuzz fits the bill. So even though you have that Wall Rain from Captain, you have that Registeel with Zap Cannon from Captain's side, you have to find a way to address those weaknesses. And sometimes picking the right position for your Mandibuzz might be key.
No, and in that game, it was a Sableye and Cresselia core, right? Those 2 Pokemon were in that game number 1, and Mandibuzz handles both of them. and looks like we might get a lock-in right now for this game number 2, and it is the Walrein versus the Scrafty.
Scrafty dealing super effective counter damage, and this time Walrein is staying in the matchup. Oh, and the switch! METABOU reaching for the Metacham and catching the power-up punch.
What a swap, catching that power-up punch, resisted into the Metacham here, and we're gonna see this matchup, but it's matched up against the Sableye is not what this Metacham wants to see.
Now we've seen this matchup, but last game it was on the opposite side. METABOU's mastery for Sableye, recognizing it could survive the 2 Ice Punch charge moves, and now we see the Sableye from Captain's side using foul play.
Yes, and one more Ice Punch is going to be coming through. The Sableye easily no protect shields it, and it's an interesting decision. Does Cap want to try to farm down with the Sableye, or I think it's going to get that big farm down here.
Let's see, Metacham trying to reach for another Ice Punch, and it looks like it gets there. I think this was by design, Butters. I think we're recognizing the Sableye doesn't have much utility right now.
Wow, and it's crazy how even this matchup became. I mean, there is energy left on the Sableye. The Sableye is going to be able to throw this foul play into something, and it is going to be landing for neutral damage no matter what.
Now it looks like a CMP event, and the Sableye gets to go first. Oh, this is tough for METABOU.
This is tough. You're investing energy into a Pokemon that has almost no health, and you lost that charge move priority, so that is a tough break to METABOU.
That's a tough break, and it's not like Icicle Spears are scarce. We're going to get another one any moment here, but that Scrafty is going to bear down, and we do see the switch out into Sableye and the counter swap. No, excuse me, just straight into Registeel.
Yeah, and Registeel has some good play here, and oh my goodness, look at that swap into the foul play. Scrafty takes this. Double resisted.
Look at the dance between these 2 trainers. METABOU catches that resisted power-up punch, and Captain says, I can do it too.
Look at Scrafty's face, just feels really good about himself right there. Going for the power-up punch bait here, actually. We're gonna see if it's no-shielded, and it is no-shielded.
METABOU making early calls in these matchups that are so critical. We are at the back end of this matchup, and still 4 protect shields on the board. Scratch that, 3.
And baits coming left and right. The foul play bait is shielded, and now this Scrafty is going to have to decide to go for the bait, and it finally goes for the foul play. Can this foul play sneak between 2 protect shields? It cannot.
I'm not sure if that's a grin or a grimace, but Scrafty unable to land that foul play. Maybe a little bit frustrated. We'll have to see. Look at this Sableye going for another foul play bait.
Well, I know what's not frustrated. It is the Sableye, because it is purified and it has that returned, and it does get another bait on that Scrafty.
Wow, and look at this. Oh my goodness! Scrafty, it's gonna get hit by the return here. I think this is more than enough to KO the Dark Fighter.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing. 2 baits from the Sableye able to take that matchup. Now the Walrein has a protect shield advantage, but it's gonna have to probably shield. No, it goes for the Focus Blast. Does not want to debuff the Walrein.
This is tricky because the Zap Cannon would reduce the effectiveness of what is likely to be an Earthquake here. So we did see the Focus Blast opting for the more energy efficient move. Here comes the Earthquake from the Walrein. This is going to come right down to the wire.
And METABOU is throwing the Earthquake, and is it gonna be enough? Reggie holds on, it lives, it just needs to get to this Focus Blast, and it can shore up the matchup. It's gonna get there.
Look at the control by Captain, recognizing the double Focus Blast was the way, and he's going to throw this Focus Blast excellent on the bubbles. Boom! Walrein goes down.
And once again, we have a fast move off. It is Lock-On versus Shadow Claw, and the Lock-On gets it! Captain takes game number 2.
Razor thin margin of victory. Lock-On was enough. My gosh.
Wow. The Registeel barely holding on and really smartly going for that Focus Blast. I think we were sitting here thinking, maybe go for that Zap Cannon. You maybe want to lower the attack stat of that Walrein before you take the Earthquake, but Captain just knows how much the Registeel can take, knows it can take, it's out of Earthquake range anyway, so just decides to go to the double Focus Blast because Focus Blast is 5 less energy.
Knowing how close you are to your charge attacks, knowing how long it takes you to get there is important, but recognizing your opponent's pacing is probably even more important because you can anticipate when that second Earthquake will arrive, and you can kind of pace yourself on what to expect.
Yeah, one matchup there I could not believe. The Sableye versus the Scrafty. Just able to bait twice with the foul play, and the Scrafty did have energy, but thought that it wasn't quite, the Sableye wasn't quite at return, and then the Sableye just returned that Scrafty back to the Pokeball.
It looks like Sableye kept the receipt because he sent Scrafty all the way back. What an incredible matchup, and sometimes even when the matchup seems grim, you just have to keep on tapping.
Yeah, and it also, there's just a crazy scenario happening where there's going to be some Metachamps, and it looks like we are in game number 3. This is the decisive game number 3. It's the Sableye swap into the Sableye against the Scrafties. Can Scrafty get revenge?
This is Scrafty's second chance to try to win this matchup against METABOU's Sableye, which has been so impressive. And we do see a CMP event here, and Sableye going for the move first. Let's see if we get an early shield, and
this is a really important call to shield that return there. And now going back with the foul play. No baits here. Trainers are not baiting in game number 3.
The gloves are off. Scrafty throws that foul play, and Sableye loses a lot of HP there. But I don't know that it's that bad, positionally speaking. Let's see if Sableye can get to one more return.
Yeah, it's going to be close. The return is going to be coming there, but cut off by the power-up punch. Really smart counting, and I cannot believe it. The shield by METABOU, thinking it can get to the return. Will it be able to get to it? And it does!
Oh my goodness, METABOU, the Sableye master, knows exactly what to expect and throws a return and grabs the second shield.
My goodness, Sableye getting 2 protect shields with the return. Now this Scrafty is boosted up because of the power-up punch. It's going to be able to unleash some damage, probably against this Metacham.
Now we see the Metacham come in against the Scrafty. The Scrafty is going to throw a foul play here. We know this is neutral damage to the Psychic and Fighting type Metacham.
Yeah, but at this point, because of the 2-stage attack boost, or sorry, 1-stage attack boost maybe, and the Metacham is going to try to go for the farm down, but this is so risky, so close to another foul play. Can get to another foul play, and does!
Oh my goodness, another foul play. Let's see if this forces the final shield for METABOU, and it does. The Metacham, I feel, is key for the back end of this matchup.
Yeah, and this Scrafty was able to do so much, take out the Sableye, almost take out most of the Metacham and get that Protect Shield back, and it's a blind Ice Punch into the Sableye.
Let's see, Ice Punch. We know Metacham doesn't have a great matchup against the Sableye, but it's going to try to deploy as much energy as it can. METABOU switches actually reaching right for that wall rain.
And that wall rain is a little bit ahead on energy, but Registeel is poised to get to a move with the Protect Shields down.
What is the recipe for success? I think Metacham needs at least 2 more Ice Punches to try to KO that Sableye, but let's see. Earthquake comes through here, and as we've seen, Captain is great at playing this Registeel.
And look how healthy this wall rain is, but it's about to take the full wrath of a Zap Cannon. Paging Nurse Joy, that's a knockout.
Oh my goodness, Metacham comes in here and tries to make the most of a bad situation, gonna try to counter all the way through the Registeel, and it gets there.
And this Metacham's loaded with energy. This is gonna be cut off by the foul play though. The Sableye is able to get to the foul play first. Captain is gonna be able to knock out Metacham.
Captain secures the KO, Metacham faints. METABOU, what an incredible play.